Every home tells a story. It is not merely a structure of walls, floors, and ceilings. It is a living, breathing reflection of the people who dwell within it. Each object, each piece of furniture, even the air that moves through its rooms, carries with it traces of memory, emotion, and energy. And sometimes these traces are more than just echoes of our own lives. They can hold the presence of those who have passed on, whispering softly into the spaces we inhabit. We live with a sense of comfort, surrounded by what is familiar, rarely pausing to think about the invisible layers of energy that our possessions and our environment may contain. Yet, even the most ordinary home has the power to attract more than we realize. It can become a quiet meeting place, a threshold where the unseen brushes against the everyday, where past and present intermingle without ceremony or announcement. This is not a cause for fear, but rather for awareness, a gentle invitation to consider what energies we welcome and what histories we unknowingly hold open in our lives. Think for a moment about the spaces you move through daily. The living room where family gatherings are full of laughter and conversation. The bedroom where you rest, dream, and awaken. The kitchen where aromas linger, carrying the warmth of nourishment and care. All of these spaces are alive with energy, shaped not only by your presence, but by the layers of time and memory that preceded you. In these moments, we can begin to sense that a home is not merely a shelter, but a repository of life, its joys, its sorrows, its unfinished stories. And yet, how often do we consider that some of these stories belong to those who are no longer with us? When we hold on to old objects, photographs, letters, or heirlooms, we are not just preserving memories, we are also preserving the emotions attached to them. Grief, love, longing, regret. All of these energies remain potent, lingering in the spaces where they were once experienced most fully. It is in this lingering presence that the unseen may find a subtle invitation to enter, to reconnect, or to seek acknowledgement. Our homes can, without intention, become bridges between worlds. This is not something we necessarily see or hear. It is something we feel. A sudden chill in a familiar room, a sensation of being watched, the inexplicable movement of an object, or the way memories seem to surface more vividly in certain corners. These are gentle reminders that the past is never truly gone. It whispers, it lingers, and it can touch our lives if we allow it. In this exploration, there is no judgment, no need for alarm. What I offer is awareness and understanding. By opening our eyes to the hidden life of our homes, we gain the power to honor the energy we carry, to acknowledge the stories embedded in the objects around us, and to create a space of harmony rather than a doorway left unattended. To live consciously within our homes is to invite peace, to hold reverence for both the present and the past, and to recognize that even in the quietest corners, life, visible and invisible, continues to exist. When we think about the objects in our homes, we often see only their function or their beauty. A photograph reminds us of a moment, a piece of jewelry connects us to a loved one, a book sits quietly on a shelf, but each of these objects carries far more than its physical form. They hold energy, emotion, and memory, sometimes for generations. These objects, though ordinary at first glance, have a profound capacity to connect us to the past and, in subtle ways, to the presence of those who have departed. Consider old photographs. They are more than images on paper. They are snapshots of life, frozen in a moment of emotion and experience. When we look at a photograph of a parent, grandparent, or friend who is no longer with us, we do not merely see their face. We feel the energy of their life, the weight of their presence, and the trace of the emotions that were captured in that instant. Photographs serve as anchors for memory, but they can also become quiet invitations. They hold the essence of the person, and in the absence of intention or acknowledgement, they may attract the attention of a spirit seeking recognition, closure, or a gentle connection to the living. Similarly, heirlooms carry a remarkable depth of history and emotion. A piece of jewelry handed down through generations, a watch that ticked beside a loved one for decades, a faded diary from a long-past relative. These are more than keepsakes. They are vessels of the lives that touched them, imbued with the love, grief, joy, and longing of those who once held them. Objects like these are not inert. They retain the energy of those who cherished them. When left unacknowledged, they may unconsciously serve as calls, subtle signals to the unseen, drawing attention from those whose stories are still seeking recognition or resolution. What is essential to understand is that these objects do not haunt in the way popular stories suggest. There is no need for fear. They simply hold energy, and energy, like water, seeks resonance. Objects that are infused with strong emotion naturally attract similar energies. This is why it is so important to handle such items with mindfulness, intention, and respect. A photograph framed thoughtfully, an heirloom honored through memory, a letter read with intention. These small acts allow us to engage with the past consciously, rather than unconsciously inviting its presence into our everyday lives. Our homes, filled with these items, become a tapestry of emotion, a living archive of human experience. Each object is a thread, carrying the imprint of past lives, and when we walk among them, we are walking through the echoes of history. This is not something to fear, but something to acknowledge. By understanding the power that objects hold, we gain the ability to curate the energy of our spaces, to honor memories without unconsciously inviting restless energy, and to live in a home that supports life, connection, and peace. When we approach the objects around us with awareness, recognizing the stories and energies they carry, we transform our homes into sacred spaces. We create environments that nurture our own spirit while respectfully holding the echoes of those who have gone before us. It is in this gentle acknowledgement that we find balance, harmony, and a sense of connection that transcends life and death. Mirrors and the spaces we often overlook. Attics, basements, closets are more than they seem. They are not just physical objects or storage areas. They are vessels for energy, subtle gateways that connect us to both memory and the unseen. We tend to think of mirrors simply as tools for reflection, but in truth they hold a quiet power. A mirror does not merely show what is before it, it amplifies presence, it captures the light of a room, the expressions of those who pass before it, and in a sense the essence of moments themselves. In the calm of night, when shadows deepen and silence grows, mirrors can become thresholds, spaces where the boundary between the living and those who have passed feels thinner. This is not to say that mirrors summon spirits intentionally. Rather, they reflect energy. They reflect what is in the space, magnifying what is emotionally or spiritually present. A mirror in a room that carries grief, sorrow, or unresolved emotion may, without intention, echo those feelings back into the space. It is a gentle reminder that the objects around us do more than exist. They respond, resonate, and communicate. Being aware of this allows us to engage with our spaces consciously, ensuring that the energy we reflect and invite aligns with peace, love, and mindfulness. Unfinished or neglected spaces work in a similar way. Attics, basements, closets, rooms that accumulate what we no longer see or use, often hold more than dust and forgotten objects. They accumulate energy, particularly from items that carry strong emotional imprints. A box of childhood toys, a trunk of old letters, or furniture long abandoned in a corner does not merely occupy space. It holds fragments of life, moments of joy, longing, and sometimes sorrow. This energy, when left stagnant, may attract the attention of curious or unsettled presences. These areas become quiet repositories, not of danger, but of attention. Neglect them too long, and they may hold more than just memory. They may serve as points of connection for energy seeking acknowledgement. It is important to understand that these energies are not malicious. They are not forces of harm or ill intent. They are traces of lives that have moved on but remain linked through emotion and memory. Our relationship with these spaces shapes their influence. By organizing, cleaning, and tending to areas that hold neglected objects, we can transform stagnant energy into something nourishing. By placing mirrors thoughtfully, and by acknowledging the emotions held within each object and space, we create balance. We create a home that reflects intention, awareness, and care, rather than one that unintentionally echoes unrest. Awareness is the first step. It is the gentle recognition that our homes are living, breathing spaces, full of history and emotion. Each mirror, each quiet corner, each forgotten room has the potential to reflect and amplify the energies of life and death alike. By walking through these spaces with mindfulness, we honor both the living and the departed. We create a rhythm of respect, intention, and consciousness that allows our homes to be places of harmony, rather than unintentional thresholds. In this awareness, we find peace, we find clarity, and we come to understand that the unseen is not to be feared, but acknowledged with care, respect, and gentle intention. Furniture and written words are more than mere objects in our homes. They are vessels of presence and memory. A chair, a bed, a desk, they witness our daily lives, hold the moments we may take for granted, and absorb the emotions that pass through them. A rocking chair, for example, is not just a piece of wood and fabric. It is a keeper of countless hours of contemplation, comfort, or grief. Each creak and sway carries with it echoes of human experience. A desk, long abandoned, may hold the energy of thoughts, decisions, and dreams that were poured onto its surface. These objects, though silent, have the capacity to retain the imprint of life itself. We'll allow these items to remain unacknowledged or neglected. Their energy does not disappear. It lingers in quiet resonance, sometimes attracting the attention of those who have passed. These are not spirits seeking to harm or frighten. They are echoes, subtle reminders of the lives and emotions that were once present. The objects that surround us can act as quiet invitations, drawing energies that align with the intensity of their history. Understanding this helps us to approach our surroundings with care and mindfulness. Similarly, our written words, journals, letters, diaries carry a profound weight. They are tangible expressions of emotion, thought, and intention. A letter sent to a loved one, whether received or left unread, embodies love, longing, or regret. A diary filled with private reflections contains the essence of the person who wrote it. Even after a person has passed, these writings can act as bridges, silent invitations for their presence to be felt once more. Objects imbued with thought and emotion, though physically inert, maintain a vibrational resonance that can subtly call attention from the unseen. It is essential to approach this understanding without fear. These energies are not inherently threatening. They are simply present. The awareness we bring, the intention with which we handle our objects, and the care we give to our living spaces determine whether this energy manifests as a gentle presence or remains unnoticed altogether. By acknowledging the history held within furniture and written words, we honor both our own experiences and those of the people who came before us. Mindfulness becomes the key to harmony, arranging furniture thoughtfully, tending to spaces that carry emotional weight, and engaging with letters and journals with respect can transform the energy of a home. Rather than allowing objects to unconsciously attract attention, we consciously invite peace, reflection, and memory. Each item becomes a tool for connection, not disturbance, a way to honor the past while remaining grounded in the present. When we recognize that our homes are living repositories of emotion and history, we can walk among our possessions with awareness. Each chair, each desk, each page in a journal has a story. By engaging with these stories thoughtfully, we create spaces of harmony and intention. We nurture a home that supports life, love, and memory without unintentionally drawing lingering energies into imbalance. Through this understanding, we come to see that the objects surrounding us are not simply items. They are keepers of life, guardians of memory, and vessels for energy. When we honor them, we honor the delicate balance between the living and the departed, creating a home that resonates with peace, mindfulness, and quiet connection. Even after we have considered objects, photographs, heirlooms, mirrors, and forgotten spaces, there remains one final truth. Energy in our homes is not limited to physical items alone. Any object that carries strong emotional resonance, joy, grief, longing, or love, has the ability to affect the atmosphere of a space. A child's toy, once held close and cherished, retains the laughter and wonder of its owner. A well-worn book, read and reread over years, carries the curiosity, excitement, and imagination of countless quiet moments. Even something as simple as a favorite chair, where one may have spent long hours in thought or meditation, holds the imprint of presence. These objects do not merely exist, they vibrate with the echoes of the emotions invested in them. It is through this resonance that the unseen may sometimes be drawn near. These energies do not come with intentions of harm. They are not spirits seeking to frighten or disturb, but rather subtle echoes seeking acknowledgement, connection, or remembrance. When we are unaware of the energy around us, these resonances can interact with our environment in ways we do not fully understand. A room may feel heavier, a sense of quiet unease may linger, or inexplicable sensations may appear. These are gentle reminders that our homes are alive with more than just the people who reside in them. They are alive with memory, emotion, and energy that spans time. Mindfulness is the bridge that transforms this subtle energy into harmony. By approaching objects with care, by honoring their history, and by engaging intentionally with the emotions they carry, we can create spaces of balance and peace. A child's toy can be kept in a place of reverence, a book treated with attention and respect, and a chair used consciously rather than left forgotten. In doing so, we acknowledge the energy that resides in these objects, allowing it to exist without interference and without unconsciously inviting disturbance. Awareness also extends to how we interact with memories themselves. To live consciously in a space filled with the echoes of the past is not to fear them, but to embrace them gently. By recognizing the stories that each object, room, and corner holds, we bring intention to our environment. We honor the lives that came before us, while grounding ourselves firmly in the present. This mindfulness creates harmony, where the living and the departed coexist in balance, and where energy flows with understanding rather than stagnation. Ultimately, the lesson is one of care and reverence. Our homes are sacred spaces, filled with echoes of life, memory, and emotion. By tending to the objects we keep, acknowledging the energies they hold, and creating environments of conscious intention, we invite peace rather than unrest. Life and memory, past and present, converge in our homes not as a threat, but as an opportunity to live fully, to honor deeply, and to recognize the subtle, ongoing connections that exist between all beings, seen and unseen. In this gentle awareness, we cultivate spaces where energy flows freely, love persists, and both the living and the departed are held with compassion, dignity, and quiet respect.